We have 12 new cases of coronavirus in Victoria, 1 in hotel quarantine and 11 community cases. Very pleasingly, and I think in news that will be welcomed by all Victorians, 100% of those cases were in isolation for 100% of their infectious period. That means that they're not a risk to public health. The strategy is working, and that trend that we hope would stabilise, if you like, and would start to form up into a true trend, has in fact done that. We started this outbreak with less than 10% of people who were turning positive having spent their time locked away. That's the nature of how outbreaks work. Because we've made difficult decisions to lock the state down, we've seen that number steadily grow because we've limited movement, and, can I say, people have done an amazing job. More than 20,000 people isolating at home, protecting themselves but also protecting every other Victorian family. So we send a message of gratitude to them, but also a very serious message. The day 13 tests are rolling around for literally thousands of people. It was a couple of thousand, 2,500 people yesterday, I think, that went through that day 13 process. You've got to get a day 13 test, but you've also got to be cleared by the Department of Health. You have to have both. You have a negative test and be cleared. And the clearance comes via a phone call and then an email. A letter is sent to you. Please don't just assume that because 13 days have passed or 14 days have passed, you're in the clear and you can go about your business. We're seeing people as late as day 13 and day 14 turn positive. So it's a very live issue, a very challenging issue. So we'll just keep working through that. There's a big team of people who are doing that work, and I'm grateful to them as well. But to more than 20,000 Victorians who are at home, not just in lockdown, they're at home in ISO, can't leave the house for any reason. We thank them very much for the work they're doing and the contribution they're making to our collective fight against this virus. While I'm doing thank yous, can I thank the 32,385 people who went and got tested. We got their results overnight. They're the results that we're reporting today. That takes to more than 500,000 the number of tests that have been conducted since this outbreak started. That is an amazing effort. And again, we're deeply grateful to everyone who has registered the most minor symptom and gone and got tested, all the way through to people who were at a Tier 1 exposure site or at any of those exposure sites and went and got tested as they were asked to do. It's such a powerful part of our response to this virus. In broader terms, the strategy is working, but it's still too early for me to be able to tell Victorians what will happen at midnight on Tuesday night. There is still a couple of days to go, and as we know, we saw with an apartment block yesterday, the day before, things can change. This is fast moving, it can be quite dynamic, and you can be thrown off course. At this stage though, things are going well, and that is a testament to a very large group of people who are working incredibly hard to track, to test, to isolate, to trace this down, to find every chain of transmission, but also thousands and thousands of Victorians who are doing the right thing, in fact millions of Victorians who are doing the right thing following the rules, and particularly those who are isolating at home away from everybody to keep everybody safe. We're very, very grateful to them. Speaking of people that we can be grateful of course, there are all of those I've listed and many more. To those yesterday who very selfishly protested, that's not the behaviour we want to see. I'll leave it to Victoria Police to go through what they're doing about that in relation to further work that they may do. There were some fines, there were some arrests made, I think, but we don't want to see people out and about selfishly putting their point of view ahead of the health and well-being of others. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, but you're not entitled to put other people in danger, and that's what yesterday was about. Ultimately, selfish behaviour that puts many, many other people in real danger. I just hope that it doesn't have an impact on cases and doesn't have an impact on the sort of rules that we all have to live under. But it is very difficult to try and shut a protest like that down without that itself becoming an infection control nightmare, having to physically handle people and all of those issues. I think people understand that Victoria Police did their very best. But, we can't vaccinate against selfishness. And these people should be ashamed, absolutely ashamed. It's just wrong. If you want to protest against the virus. Stay at home, do the right thing, and let's get through this together without selfishly putting other people in harm's way. Probably said enough about those people. I don't really deserve much more attention than that. But the Victoria Police are doing their work, and I'll leave them to update you. More broadly, there'll be meetings tonight, meetings tomorrow. We'll be looking at all the data. Health officials will come to us with advice as late as possible in terms of the most accurate picture, and then if we can give people notice, we will. But things are strong, things are solid, but things can come from nowhere in these next couple of days. So we just need to be. We don't need to. We shouldn't become complacent in any way. We have to see this thing through, and hopefully we can be in a position to ease some of these restrictions, ease some of these rules from midnight Tuesday night. But we've got to see what tomorrow's numbers look like and Tuesday's, as well as continuing to follow every lead, chase down every case, try and limit every chain of transmission. Just finally, again, can I say to all of those 20,000+ people who are isolating at home because they were either in the company of someone who was positive or they might have been, you've got to get a day 13 test. It's got to be negative, and you've got to be cleared by the Department of Health. And I thank each and every one of you and your families for the amazing job you're doing to protect everybody. But that process is really important because people are turning positive as late in their isolation period as the 13th and 14th day. That's the other wicked part about this Delta variant. Beyond that, we are well placed. We just have a little way to go, and we will share with all Victorians what's possible in terms of opening up as soon as we possibly can.